wonderful to be back at PPG Paints Arena last night. All the more wonderful to see some stuff I liked from a couple of the youngsters, including the most important of those youngsters. Good morning to you. Good Wednesday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Penguins. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Pirates in the same place that you found this. Sabres 3, Penguins 2. Score means nothing. The game itself meant way nothing. And we're talking about Buffalo lineup. You can't even call it a roster since it was a Rochester roster that was entirely minor league since they have to take all their NHL guys overseas this week. That was by design. And all I have to tell you about the Penguins' own lineup is that Noel Acciari was on the power play. All right. Within that, of course, you're looking for individual performances. That's mostly what these things are about, especially the first, 2, 3, even 4 games that get played. I like the burst that I saw from Avery Hayes. I thought Jack St. Ivany was the best player for either side. Just stood so tall all over the rink, controlled the rink at times. Not sure I saw that from him last season. And you might recall that I really liked his game last season. This episode is brought to you by Bet Online, your number one source for all your summer sports needs this season, from Major League Baseball, golf, NHL, NBA playoffs. Get the latest odds and lines, including all team matchups, player props, odds on just about everything that's out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. But my eyes, for the most part, were fixed on Rutger McGroarty, as you'd expect. Don't know how long he's going to be here. I don't get the sense that he's got really any chance of making the club out of training camp. That's not a knock. That's not the Penguins or Mike Sullivan burying the youngsters again. You can just see signs that he has plenty to gain from at least some time in the American League. And I thought that was evident in the first period where he looked like he kind of lost his direction at times, maybe could have been a little bit more aggressive, or maybe decisive is the better word. And then he also failed to get a puck out inside the Pittsburgh defensive zone at the Buffalo left point. They kept it in, the Sabres did, and a few seconds later scored. But then, and this is what you see a lot with talented youngsters, they'll get out there, they're going to wonder how they fit in, with whom they fit in, whether or not they're doing the things that the NHL head coach wants to see done with the NHL system, and they won't be themselves. And what happened with McGroarty from the second period onward was nothing more complicated than this. He was himself, made sharp passes, and I mean sharp passes, bullets. You can hear the puck smacking off the other guy's blade throughout the building. Carried himself well along the boards. Cut to the middle to make himself available for passes, something that he does, to my eyes, instinctively. Planted himself at one point in a power play exactly where you'd want to plant yourself as a trigger guy. Meaning not at some dot or the other waiting for some, 30% hope pass to make it through traffic. He set himself right below one of the hashes, and he set himself hard, dug those skates in. Puck comes his way, he rips it, and Michael Hauser, the kid from Wexford who's tending goal for the Sabres in this game, just made an unbelievable save. But it was a step. It was another stride. It was more comfort with everything that McGroarty's experiencing. I feel like I've gotten to know this kid a little bit in this camp. I've definitely gotten to like him. And here's 90 seconds of the good talk that we had afterward, where maybe you can get some of the idea as to why.
Just want to get you, Rutger, just how things are going for you,
Yeah, I feel like it's going well. It's going really well. I've really enjoyed my time here. It's been fun. And I just feel like, honestly, for me, it's just like building that confidence on the ice. I feel like every day I get on the ice, it's another day for me to build my confidence in this league and play with amazing players. And I feel like, you and I were even talking about it, I feel like first period I was just thinking too much and trying to do worrying more about systems and not really playing my game. And then the second period, I kind of just said F it and I just went for it. Yeah, and I feel like our line really dominated. I feel like, there wasn't a lot of shifts where we were in the D zone, and we hemmed them in the O zone a lot. We created a lot of momentum for our team tonight. And I feel like we honestly could have had 4 or 5 goals tonight. It just wouldn't go in.
It's only preseason. The world was robbed of a really good celebration by that city.
I know. But it was a good game. It sucks that we lost, but I feel like for me personally, I feel like it just kept getting better and better. And as a team, I feel like there were certain spurts where we had it, and there were certain spurts where we didn't have it.
It's pretty impressive, huh? That's why he's been considered captain material for a long time. Why he considers himself to be someone who will work for and earn his chance to play real games in Pittsburgh this winter. When we come back, J1Q. Today's J1Q comes from Gene, who says, DK, it's safe to say that Evgeny Malkin hasn't always had awesome wingers over the years, with the exception of Jake Gensel, James Neal, Jason Zucker. The poor guy got saddled with Riley Smith last season. I understand that there's a lot of fuss about Rutger McGroarty, but I have a feeling Geno might get Michael Bunting and Rickard Rakell again. They were okay. Are there any other forwards emerging as possibilities to bring out maximum Geno? I like the way you put that, Gene. Maximum Geno. It was, incidentally, Brooks Orpik who coined the Russian bear and beast mode and everything else there was about whenever Geno would look like maximum Geno. Yeah, how do I answer this? I guess the first thing that I can say is that I don't know why you seem to be characterizing Geno and Bunting being together as a bad thing. I thought they showed plenty of chemistry. I thought Bunting did a lot of good things, not just to create his own offense or to get goals, but also making space for Geno. Remember that whenever you're talking about maximum Geno, more than anything, you're talking about someone who gets in on the forecheck, is effective on the forecheck, and then from there allows Geno to swoop in late and maybe make something happen from there. As such, the ultimate Geno winger will probably forever be, and I got to go way back for this, Ruslan Fedotenko. Played a straight line, like table hockey, where the rod just goes forward and backward. That's Fedotenko hockey. Ruslan Fedotenko hockey. That was a term that Dan Bilesma coined. But Geno fed off that. Somehow all of his east and west worked really well with Fedotenko's north and south. And same has been true of other wingers, including the time that he spent, by the way, with Pascal Dupuis. So I don't think having Bunting there with him is a bad thing. Rakell is a different story. Rakell has acknowledged in this camp something that he didn't acknowledge last season, that he really was playing through a bum shoulder the whole way through. Now, he did not have it surgically repaired, but he says that it's much better now. And we'll see if that's the reason that early on last year he wasn't able to get goals despite creating tons of chances for himself, or whether or not it really did have much of an impact, because later in the season he did get back to scoring goals. But this also is kind of a Geno-type winger. Not that Rakell is, pure forward and backward, rod hockey, whatever, but he wins along the boards, especially on the rush, especially once he gains the attacking zone. He can be a really dangerous shooter, and he's also a pretty good passer. And you know what, Gene, we're ending this one right where it started. I think these are his wingers, and I think you're just going to have to like it. But I also think that there's a chance that you might like it. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Penguins. We're going to do another one of these tomorrow.